From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief technologist at Stunning Digital Marketing. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I have my monthly co-host on Agency Chat, Ryan Waterbury, and we're going to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything. And some of these questions are just for fun, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the fun that Ryan and I had. This episode is brought to you by All-in-One WP Migration, the most trusted WordPress migration plugin with over 60 million sites served. Whether you are switching hosts, changing domains, or moving to a new server, All-in-One WP Migration makes it one click. Try it for free at WordPress.org or visit servemass.com for pro features. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here, and today I'm my good friend, Mr. Ryan Waterbury. Hey Ryan, how you doing today?
It's a wonderful Monday morning.
Yes, Mondays are always wonderful. By the way, I don't think you can blame us for forest fires anymore, despite what a certain president says. And I don't think you can blame us even for the weather because Toronto's cool this morning, man. That's like it's not even
It's
hot.
not, yeah, it's not bad here today. We're getting northwest wind, which means Alberta weather. So very
Yeah,
comfortable.
but Alberta's been my brother's in Alberta, and it's actually been pretty humid this year and a lot of rain. So that's the interesting problem about Alberta. But anyway, so today, I like days like today, you know that. We are gonna do an AMA. What is my camera doing? We're gonna do a bit of an AMA, and we're gonna focus in on your things you do. So let's start with the easy question. Why did you start an agency?
I worked for a lot of printing companies and worked with a lot of agencies over the years, and I saw them doing uh, some phenomenal work, some okay work, and some just downright bad. I have no idea how they hung on to their clients. And I found myself in a position to um, broker print back in the day, like '07, '08, and worked with a lot of designers, and they started to need websites. So I was asked to do some of those and then sell print for them. And that's kind of how the agency was born. Initially, it was just a side project, a side hustle. And then mid-teens, 2016, I decided to incorporate it and actually launch the business. Still a side hustle, but it was making twice what I was making on my other consulting job. So, it became a full-time endeavor in 2019.
Mhm. Um, so you do a lot of work with WordPress. We know that. Typically WordPress Beaver Builder. Have you played with any other CMSs, or not played with? We've all played with. I would say built a site with any other CMSs, and how did that go?
I used Drupal before WordPress, and the Drupal views back 2012-ish. I mean, this was right when WordPress was getting into the custom post type area, and pods
Yep.
had their custom content types. Well, Drupal did retrieval of information and display it from the database so much better than WordPress back then, and it did for a long time. But because blogs were being monetized, we kind of shifted into the direction of WordPress, and I shut down my last Drupal site in 2014 and converted that to WordPress. Lately, if I'm not building in WordPress, I'm building web applications on top of Laravel. It's extremely fast and a nice framework. But again, you're building everything from scratch. which,
Mhm.
WordPress doesn't fit everything. It's a little heavy for some things. And if you want a lean web application, Laravel's been fantastic. My normal stack there's Laravel, Tailwind, and React.
Yeah. So here's the fun one. We all like web hosting, and you and I have been through a multitude of hosts, and we all say, "Oh, we like this host, we don't like this host, we like this host, we don't like this host." And if you had to, HostGator or SiteGround?
SiteGround.
Yeah, I thought
Honestly, it was 2017. I hadn't really thought about them, but they
Mhm.
had a booth at our Minneapolis WordCamp.
Yep.
And at the time, they were doing some nice things. The platform was growing. They still had some good support. I think it's gone downhill a little bit over the years,
Mhm.
and they've had some issues, major backbone issues. But hosting is hosting, and I haven't used one of the hosting companies
Me
since
neither.
about 2017. I think I've been using Run Cloud or rolling my own VPS through Vultr or Google Cloud. So everything is self-managed.
Yep. Yep. I agree with that. Main WP or managed WP?
All main WP, hands down. That was one of the best LTD purchases I've ever made. And I'm not managing hundreds of sites like you are, but um, a few dozen was when I started. I think I had 20 sites to manage at the time when I started in with main WP, and it was just a night and day difference to be able to have a central dashboard to spring off into individual sites and do updates.
Yeah, it makes life a little easy on the back end. I mean, I don't know. If I had to do them one at a time, I'd be insane. I'm already insane, but that's okay.
Managed WP also now falls under the no GoDaddy rule because it's one of their products. So
Yeah, yeah, of
that's
course.
the other end of that answer.
And to be fair, I think they've gone cyclical where they went through a while where they're doing a lot of interesting stuff. And I think, truthfully, I think GoDaddy's kind of in that cranking biz again. And I don't even think their WordPress staff gets it anymore. And I'll say that and having friends there, I'll say that very publicly. I don't think they get it at all anymore.
Yeah. Um, I with the age of AI, sometimes I think and it shouldn't be this way, but people are, turning their nose up at WordPress. And
Mhm.
that's unfortunate because it's a very guard it provides
Which
guardrails to
leads
build on.
me hold that. Which leads me to my next question. Do I use a WordPress CMS or do I vibe code my entire website and say, forget it?
Do you want to make updates? Do you want a secure website? Do you want some industry standard help when things go sideways? Use
Yeah,
WordPress.
yeah. Use
If you want
WordPress.
problems, vibe code your own site. I
Um,
shouldn't say that. Honestly, the things are getting better. And, what we're seeing in the industry,
mhm,
those small, tiny nonprofits that just need a page, they're spinning up, sites in Wix and Squarespace. Even the GoDaddy builder. I talked to a contractor.
yeah,
He
yeah.
came over to clear a drain in our house, and he's like, "Yeah, the site, I don't like it, but it's there." And he used their AI builder to vibe it.
Mhm.
And honestly, I looked at it and I said, "Yep, it's probably not. It's probably hurting you more than it's helping." So, WordPress.
But the problem with the with the one pagers is I still think from a security perspective it's worth bearing that behind his CMS. I really do
Mhm.
because at least you
Yeah,
have that framework for security on the front end, whether you want to admit it or not. Um,
yeah.
I know you do ads as part of your agency. Google ads or Facebook ads?
I used to say both, and it
Yep.
still works. It really depends on the market
Mhm.
and what we're selling. So I do a lot of lead gen, and with local service contractors, Google is really pushing the local service ads. You have to have that. Search text ads, the display ads. They're great. When somebody wants to actually look for a service, great,
Mhm.
Google. Now, if you're finding someone on interest and discovery, Facebook. But the real way to do it, it still works. And this is why we run our own Google Tag Manager servers. So we have every click accounted for. There's no privacy blocking. When
Yep.
somebody visits the site through Google Ads and they don't do anything, we'll serve them ads on Facebook because we know that they were interested. So Google is our first
Yep.
channel. Facebook, Meta, those properties as our second channel for remarketing. The click charges are
Uh,
still cheaper.
yeah. I agree with you. And then there's some niche sites like Reddit that do ads and a
Mhm.
few others.
Yeah.
And it all depends on, I think what it all depends on is where is your target market? We were talking about that before we went there. Does
Yep.
it matter? Um, Zoom or Google Meet?
Google Meet, I pay for Workspace. There's no reason to
That's
buy
fine.
another product. It works fine.
Yep. Yep.
The notes are Google Docs and they're synced right into my Google Drive. So I move them right into their individual client folder and keep
Yep.
track of things. It's just easier.
They both work um pretty well the same. I tend to use Zoom because I don't pay for Workspace. I have a Google One account, a big Google One account, and it goes from there. Um, I know the answer to this one, but I'll throw it out there. iPhone or Pixel?
Google. You know,
And by the
I've
and
had them.
by and by the way, at the time of this recording, the Pixel 11 has come out. I think you've heard that last week. And do you know Google has gone to a 256 gig standard now as part of the
Mhm.
Pixel 11 series? Finally.
I Yep, that's mostly because they have bundled Gamma 4,
Yep.
the 12 billion parameter small model, and it's fantastic. So it's a great way for power and network savings that it will hit your local AI before it goes out to the web, and
Mm,
it's extremely fast. I've had some complaints about the 10, but they don't look to be fixed in the 11, so there's no reason to
yeah.
upgrade.
Yeah. I'm on a 9 and I don't see me going to the 11 right now. Now, mind you, the price disparity wasn't terrible. It was $100 more. So I think
Mhm.
Google did some stuff and swallowed some stuff. I expected more than that based on what we've seen out of Apple. Like, let's be fair, but I don't know.
You know,
I think
yeah,
it's an interesting problem.
but yeah, and I think we're going to see some parity over the next couple of years that both chips and the iPhone and the Pixel are going to be tensor chips. They are very
You
both
know,
devices are going to be AI forward.
yeah, yeah, so true. Um, Audiobooks or print books?
Print.
Yeah. Oh, you
I,
still
I
like
like
print
having something I
books?
can hold in my hand, and
Yeah.
I enjoy reading. I've been reading since I was 4 years old. So.
I do both, but I still prefer print, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Um, since you're a Google Pixel guy, iPad or Google tablet?
I'd go iPad, and I
Yeah.
haven't had one in a number of years, but I'm going to pick
Mhm.
another one up for testing. I think they're nice devices. The parity with the desktop Mac OS now is solid. So they're all running on the ARM chips. That
Mm.
it's time to go that route.
Yeah. So one of my favorite questions is for fun because I know you well. Brewery or co-working space?
Oh, brewery.
I knew that was coming. Yeah. Yeah. You
Ironically enough, in 20, my I was so desperate to get the new M1 Mac because I would weekly take one day off, either go to a coffee shop, but more likely a brewery. We have a lot of nice breweries
Yep.
in the city.
Yep.
And Friday afternoons, they're quiet. They're a nice place to get work done and cycle the battery. And when I couldn't do that in 2020 and the power management wasn't great yet on the Mac OS, I didn't unplug it often enough and my battery blew
Uh-oh.
up.
That's funny. So, podcast or AM radio?
Ooh, I'm not a fan of either, but I would say AM radio.
Yeah.
I yeah,
That's an interesting one because I used to be an old radio guy. I still listen to the radio,
yeah. I
but I do not have a conventional radio. I can say the word because I've changed the wake word. I wonder why. But
you
I have an
know,
Alexa right next to me, and
for me, it still comes down to reading. I would prefer a blog post or a book
yep,
over a video,
yep, yep.
but
I
it
agree.
depends on the content. If I'm looking at how to and somebody's got a video cast and they're showing a process, sure, then I'll take that route. But
Mm,
yeah, more often than not, AM radio or a book.
yeah, cable TV or streaming?
Streaming.
Yep, okay, that's fair.
That one's an easy one, but it's
Uh,
getting to be like cable TV now.
yeah, for me, it's all where the live sports sits. That's the problem.
Yep.
Um, what was I gonna say? So if you had a choice, um, Pixel or OnePlus
Uh, between the two plans,
between the two phones, Pixel or OnePlus?
Pixel.
Yeah. And by the way, it's a trick question because OnePlus is not available in North America anymore.
Oh,
Don't know if you knew
that's
that.
right.
Yes. Yeah, they very quietly pulled out. If you're reading, TechCrunch or CNETnews.com.
Ooh, I tend to read TechCrunch more, but it all depends on which headline comes across. CNET, I don't think is as good or honest as they used to be,
Are they
my
still owned by
opinion.
CBS? I think so, right?
I
They're
think
still
they
owned by
are.
CBS? Yeah. Yeah. I tend to agree with you. I was reading TechCrunch this morning. I know at the time of this record, you had posted a story off Yahoo Finance. Yes, they're still around. I don't know who
Hmm.
owns them anymore. It was Verizon, then they sold them to an equity company, and you know how that
Yeah.
game goes. But I don't know who
Yep.
owns them anymore. But they're still around making some money, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Not
you
near
had
what they
posted
used
an
to.
art. But you had posted an article, and it was funny because TechCrunch ran that same article, a version of the same article.
Yeah.
Um, internet, cable or high speed DSL
Oh, cable. Left our and that
or fiber.
I say
Sorry,
that. Yeah.
cable or
I say
fiber.
that because of what's available. And um, fiber was 10% of the speed of cable in our neighborhood. Now there's some
That's
parity again,
Yep.
but it depends on what you can get. And for all the crap over the years that, we all of us have complained about Comcast or Xfinity, I have to
Mhm.
say that customer service this round, since I've
Yep.
used it, has been really good. They've been proactive and actually been helpful with finding the right plan for a better deal than what they have on their website. I've
Yep.
been pleasantly surprised with Xfinity.
So here's a good one for those who are stuck in an area with no fiber and no cable, DSL or satellite internet.
Satellite,
Yeah.
hands down. Yeah, the I think the advancements are there. It's fast enough. People that I
Mhm.
know that have Starlink in
Starlink.
particular are very happy with it.
Now, what I'll also tell you is those who don't know, Amazon's jumping into that space very quickly.
Mhm.
And I would expect Google will be right behind them, to be fair.
And,
I think.
and that's a great thing. Competition will lower the cost. Starlink isn't horribly expensive, but there is, a certain cost to enter with hardware.
100,
So,
no, it's actually come down. In Canada, it was $100 Canadian for a friend of mine with the equipment. So that's not
oh
terrible.
wow. It used to be 500 or 1,000. So that's
It's
a
come way
lot
down.
nicer.
Yeah. Um, French fries with or without ketchup? Because I can't.
Without.
Yeah. Oh God. So you're American. So with or without vinegar?
Oh, vinegar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
love fish and chips the normal way.
what's funny when you go into the southern U.S. states and you say do you have vinegar, they look at you like you're crazy. Still, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. For fun, football or basketball?
Ooh, probably basketball.
Yeah, I would agree. F1 or NASCAR?
NASCAR subsidiary.
Okay. Yeah,
IMSA.
IMSA. Is NASCAR subsidiary now? Is NASCAR own IMSA?
Yeah, NASCAR bought IMSA in, I believe, 2012.
See, I like IMSA. I don't have a problem with IMSA. They come in the Toronto area, well, east of Toronto. So they do come up this way. Um France or Italy?
France.
Boo.
My I have lineage there. Nice.
Montreal or Vancouver?
Uh,
And you probably haven't been to either, so there's a guess.
uh, yeah, I've been to Vancouver. I have not been to Montreal.
Have you been to Vancouver? Oh, wow. I have been several times. I love both, so I can't
Yeah.
decide. You notice I'm being very non-political today, don't you? Yep, yep, yep. And that's about it. I think I was gonna say I had one more. Water or Diet Coke?
Oh, water.
Yep.
I'm not a
You're
soda
a
guy.
you're a waterholic too, right? Coffee or tea?
Tea, although I do like coffee occasionally.
Oh yeah. Um, Americano or espresso? There's a good one.
Oh, espresso.
Yeah, of course espresso. Again, you know, you know who I hang around, so that answers that question. You know, Canon, Sony, or Nikon? Give me three.
Mm,
You know what context I'm
I,
asking?
yep. Man, I would still say Nikon. That's just my experience from a long time ago.
So I'm going to tell you, I have a Sony mirrorless, which I don't carry very often because it's freaking heavy. Because your smartphone does such a good job now. And I got to tell you, I love it. So the problem with cameras is, you know this, you're a camera guy. Once you choose the body, you're screwed for the next 20 years because you're locked in with lenses, right? Talk about the
Yep.
biggest by the way, EU, are you listening? You know, they care about all this interchangeably, but they haven't touched the camera market. Isn't that ironic?
I've had the same camera.
Yeah.
Oh God, I got it in '06.
Okay.
No reason to change. But my phone takes better photos now. You are correct.
Well, I use the Sony more for video. I pump it on a tripod and I let it go.
Mhm.
Um, and to be fair with the phone, I think I've shown you. I shoot off the phone with a DJI gimbal, by the way, which you cannot buy in the US. I wonder why. I wonder how that happened. I said I wasn't going to make this political, didn't I? Yeah, yeah. But anyway,
I
this thing is incredible because it's Bluetooth to the phone, and I can shoot video and say train it on this person, and the gimbal will follow you around.
oh
It's
wow.
really cool. Yeah, it's only $100 device too. By the way, you can get it in Canada, so for a fee of 99.99, I can ship it. You know what I mean?
Of course, there's a handling fee.
That's ridiculous. Um, remember if you wear contacts for the last questions, contacts or glasses?
Hit or miss. I actually prefer wearing my glasses more often lately, but I've had,
You do wear contacts, yeah. My
mhm.
brother's half and half. I will not do contacts, but that's the story.
I'm
Eye
pretty active
infection
for sports, so
in the pool or beside the pool?
both. I used to be a lifeguard, so
Oh, did you? I didn't know that.
either way, yeah.
Since you like the water, canoe or kayak?
Canoe.
Yeah. Until you get to 5 Mile Portage in the middle of the road and say, "Why am I doing this?" Right?
Yeah, I've had some tough portages in the boundary waters, but I'd
Um,
still say canoe.
Sometime when you're bored, go look up Algonquin Park in Ontario. You know
Mm,
Algonquin, and there's a monstrous portage on the expert run. It's about 6 miles and no fun at all. Having done it a couple of times, it's fun.
yeah,
Um, Hotel or Airbnb?
hotel.
Yep,
I've
you're
never
where I
been an
am.
Airbnb fan.
No, you either. Uber or taxi?
Uber. I used to be the other way for a
Yep,
long
me
time,
too.
especially when I used to do a lot of travel in my 20s,
Uh-huh.
and taxis were and uh, the car service, the third option. If I'm really going to do something and plan, if I'm going to go on a trip,
Yeah,
I used to do car
Uber.
service, but I don't think it
So
matters
car
with Uber
service
now.
being airport limo, right? Yeah.
Right. But I
The
think
problem with
Uber's gotten
pr-
good enough with their higher
better,
end. Yeah.
yeah. The problem with the airport limos is, out of the airport in Toronto, and I do enough business travel. What happens is they charge you based on a zone, so you know when you leave the airport what your zone is, and that's how they work. And the joke is, if you're going to the farther end of the zone, it's worth it. If you're going into the front end of the zone, it's probably not worth it. And the
Right.
problem is everybody says Uber's cheaper, but what people forget is the airports all have an airport fee at the airport. So that's why your fees are so much coming out of an airport. Uber also has those airport fees. So you're
Right.
still way cheaper, I think, to do an Uber out. And now that Uber's gotten, I guess it happened 5 or 6 years ago where they got their insurance problem solved, where they didn't have commercial insurance and now they do. So that's a
Mhm.
little different. Um,
I one Yeah, I used to get in trouble with this car service versus taxi. Now, you travel to Chicago a lot. I would always
yep.
take the car service because it was cheaper than the taxi, but I would get yelled at from the person reading my expense report because I took a car service, even though it was cheaper. It was just one of those
Yep.
weird rules of the company because it's
I
usually
I
not.
I Uber my expenses, and if I'm home, we have a road called the 407. It's like a toll road in Ontario, so it's toll all the way, but it goes right to the airport. So you're stupid. You say, oh, you could do the non-toll, but the reality of it is we're 20 minutes north of the 401. So if you go down to the highway and come back up, what you save in 407 tolls, you pay in time. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you know how it
Uh,
goes, right?
There's no such thing as a free lunch
No, I know. Um, a fun one to wrap up, rum or gin?
from,
I knew
although
you would
not spiced rum. Had a little bit too much of that in college.
get too many stories that we don't want to hear about.
Probably ones I can't remember.
Ones you probably don't remember. So,
That's
you
true.
know. Um, and last but not least, Google Watch or Samsung Watch.
Uh, Neither. Garmin.
Oh, Garmin, yeah. You bike, so that's why.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the cyclists I know wear Garmins. That's a fair comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Tool of
still
the
um
trade.
I'm still a Pixel Watch guy. I like my Pixel Watch. I don't use 90% of it. All I care about is the heart rate and the step count. And so for me, that's the two things I care about. And everybody says, when are you going to upgrade your watch? I said, when I decide I need something more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
And T
you're
and
that's so
Tiz
true.
and Tiz is an Apple Watch gal because she's an iPhone gal all day long. So,
Mhm.
and the prices are almost identical in the watches. There's
Right.
not much of a difference, to be honest with
Hasn't shifted in the past couple of years. And they're all pretty good. They
you.
used to be a little bit different, but they all
Yeah.
pretty much have a parity with features now.
Amazon delivery or Walmart delivery?
Amazon.
I use both.
Yeah. Uh, I'm I'm so spoiled here. We have a FBA, one of the largest FBAs in our metro area. It's not even 5 minutes down the road from
Sorry.
us, and they have a lot of hardware, like all the drives
Yeah.
in my raid.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Ryan, I'm not going to keep you, but thanks so much for doing this. We had a little bit of fun today. I appreciate you. Have a great day.
this was a fun one.
Yeah,
Thanks.
take care. Bye bye. Thanks again to our sponsor, All in One WP Migration by ServeMask. Export your entire WordPress site in one click, import it anywhere. No server access needed, no command line, works with every hosting provider. Free on WordPress.org or extension at servemask.com. A very special thank you to Ryan Waterbury for co hosting this edition of the SDM Show. The SDM Show is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much every day. My mother, Ann Cairns, who's still doing really well and is an inspiration. And of course, Tiz Maroney. And Tiz, I know I've said it, but thank you so much for all the inspiration you give me every day.